alleged serial sex abusers, lets them get away with it, defends them for 30 years plus, in the case of Harvey Weinstein. Now we're going to take a look into how Hollywood and the entertainment industry treats people with conservative beliefs. And we're talking to our guest, who is Lucas Duza, a young model and actor. And we're going to get his side of the story of what happened to him. You're going to want to hear this. And he is live with us now. Lucas, welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Good to have you. Now, you're a young model actor. You were hired by this agency. You signed a contract with them. If you want to name the agency, that's up to you. But tell us what happened over the past week or so.
Well, basically, so as you said, a year and a half ago, I was given the opportunity to work with this agency. And during this time, I developed a presence on social media. But the agency was with the fact that I was expressing my views politically, and specifically, they really disliked the photo that I had on Facebook with it was President Trump with a caption that read, "My President." And a few months later, so like last week, I was informed that by email that my contract had been terminated due to my polarizing views. And it's important to remember that polarizing to the left is anything that, factual, that they can agree with. And now, Paul, something like this definitely wouldn't have happened if I would have encouraged blowing up the White House like Madonna did publicly. And it wouldn't have happened if I supported kneeling for the anthem or for the flag of the United States. And definitely wouldn't have happened if I would have been making threats like we see many leftists do on social media towards our president.
And so you were posting these pro-Trump memes. And let's get it clear. You're 16, 17 now, right?
Yeah, I'm 17.
So you're not even old enough to vote. But they were so insecure at the fact that you had, God forbid, conservative political opinions. You posted some things. Tell us exactly the process of how they informed you, and then what happened. What was your response to them basically threatening to fire you, right?
Yeah, so like I just received an email one day, and they just told me that they weren't going to, they don't want to be associated with someone that has the polarizing views, which I had, according to them, of course. And they just said that they won't appreciate and they don't have a placement for me at the agency.
Absolutely insane. So a 17-year-old kid, they were so triggered by this, so left perplexed by this, like they'd never had it before. They'd never seen anyone, God forbid, express conservative political beliefs. Now, is there any kind of legal recourse on this? Are you going to try and pursue it legally, or are you just going to leave it as it is for now and try and get a contract with another agency?
I've got input from many of my other friends, and they just said that, if they're not going to accept you there, then just try somewhere else. And I'm probably not going to sue them just because, my attorney said that it's freedom of speech. So, I think I'm just going to leave it as it is, and just find work with another agency that will actually appreciate my work.
Absolutely incredible. And just to make it clear to people, James Woods came out a couple of years ago and said the reason he doesn't expect to work in Hollywood again is that he criticized Obama. We literally now have to have clandestine secret societies of conservatives in Hollywood where they can meet and express their opinions without fear of censure, without being in fear of people destroying their careers. On the flip side, we've got this Harvey Weinstein thing, which we'll get into in a moment. But, Lucas, did you have any idea going into this industry as a young man trying to get a start in this industry, how utterly intolerant they are? And what does it say about them that they react in this way to a 17-year-old guy with conservative political opinions?
Going into this industry, I know that, you have to be a liberal or be a liberal in the entertainment industry. And if you're publicly a conservative, you're seen as a racist, as a sexist, all these things that the leftists see in us. And honestly, I think it's just upsetting with everything. I mean, there are many people in Hollywood that are not appreciative of conservatives and they say that they're tolerant of other ideologies. Well, it doesn't seem like they truly are. I mean, you look at Stacey Dash, you look at all these other actresses that were actually fired and like not, they didn't want to, their agencies or whatever clients didn't want to associate themselves with someone that's a conservative.
Now, we've seen Hollywood losing money. In fact, I'm going to do a big video on this in a couple of days' time. Their box office receipts are down now, even on what they were in 2002, despite the fact that they have way more screens. They had the worst summer, I believe, in terms of box office income in 15 years, the worst summer box office income in Hollywood. Do you think that's to do with this kind of virtue signaling that we see inserted into everything at the movie level, at the TV level, that Americans are finally starting to get jaded, they're finally starting to switch off? Or do you think the reason why Hollywood's starting to struggle in terms of income is basically that people are making crappy movies, they have no imagination, you know, everything's a superhero sequel? But do you think also there's some level of, you know, jaded sentimentality among Americans where they see now that Hollywood in the culture war is basically being used as a political tool to bludgeon people into compliance, into adopting leftist dogmas, and they've just stopped caring about their primary role, which is to make good movies? What do you think about that?
Well, I definitely agree with you. I think that the fact is, Americans are really upset with the fact, and I mean, you just look at the NFL. I mean, you have the ratings down. Why? Because you're targeting our flag, you're targeting our anthem, and it's despicable. And the American people, we can see it, they're not going to tolerate it. We've seen it with the election of President Trump. They're sick and tired of all these, of the establishment in Hollywood and in Washington. You see all the corruption, the lies, the secrets, the dark side of Hollywood. And that's, you see that trend in Washington, D.C. as well. And the American people aren't going to tolerate it. And that's why the numbers are low for Hollywood.
Now, talking about the dark side of Hollywood, obviously today we've been talking about these Harvey Weinstein revelations. In the past, we've had revelations from other Hollywood child actors. Obviously, you're not in the industry fully yet, but you may have some knowledge of this sexual abuse. At some levels, it's the Harvey Weinstein type. At other levels, it's actually accusations of pedophilia in Hollywood. Of course, we had the whole Roman Polanski scandal, which rumbled on for decades, with people like Meryl Streep saying that she was sorry he was in jail. Some of the same people that were close to Harvey Weinstein have defended Roman Polanski in the past. Just from your experience, which I know is going to be limited at this stage, but have you heard these stories about this mass sexual abuse problem within Hollywood just from getting into the industry?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've read into all these things, and I'm really disgusted by all these allegations, and definitely don't want to glorify these actions. However, what is troubling is that neither, for example, with the Weinstein case, neither Hillary nor Obama have called out these allegations, even given that they nearly ruined Trump after allegations against him surfaced. And it's just yet another example of the hypocrisy on the left, and them just turning a blind eye whenever monetary campaign donations are involved.
All right, stay there. Lucas Duza will be back after the break. Don't go away. So we're talking to Lucas Duza, who is a young up-and-coming model and actor who was informed by his agency that he would be fired because of his political support on social media. He wasn't even an activist. He wasn't really that visible. He was just expressing support for conservative ideas, for Donald Trump on Twitter, that he would be fired if he did not remove those posts. Lucas, they actually said, if you remove the post, then things might get better and they might keep you on. That's what they told you, right?
Yeah, they did. That's exactly what they told me after I had a meeting with them a few months back. And, you know, obviously I kind of said no. I didn't want to remove my posts. And I think that if I was going to lose my job, then for supporting the president, then that's kind of silly, you know?
It's amazing. I mean, we have an industry with Hollywood that protects this serial sexual abuser of women, Harvey Weinstein, for 30 plus years. It takes most of them 5 days to come out and disavow him. That's the kind of thing that they will tolerate for 30 years. You've got conservative views as a 16, 17-year-old up-and-coming actor, and that cannot be tolerated. Absolutely incredible. Even with TV now, you've got, Tim Allen. He had the big hit show with ABC for the time slot. It was doing really well. Last Man Standing. That got cancelled. We speculated it was because of his conservative views, which, again, weren't even that vehemently expressed. But he later came out and confirmed that that was probably why they cancelled it. You've got a Hollywood secret society where they literally have to have clandestine meetings. You've got people coming out blowing the whistle. Elijah Wood, the Lord of the Rings star, came out last year and said that he was preyed upon as a child actor. You got a big pedophile problem in the music industry in Hollywood. You've got big serial sexual abusers. But no, you're the problem, a 17-year-old with a Twitter account. Absolutely incredible. I mean, does it put you off pursuing your career knowing how ridiculously hypocritical and, in fact, dirty and seedy that this industry is?
I don't think it really puts me off. I just think it kind of empowers me. I want to go into this industry. I know it's hard as a conservative, but I'm still going to fight it, and I've set my goals high, and I'm going to follow them regardless of what others say or what others think of my political views.
So at no stage did you think, oh, I can just hide my political views and things are going to be a lot easier? That thought process never crossed your mind, right?
I would say maybe it did for a short period of time, but then I thought, like, where's the freedom of speech? I mean, I'm going to express my opinions. I mean, they're not, as long as I'm not threatening someone, I'm going to support my president. I'm going to be proud of my country, and I'm going to be proud of my flag, and I'm going to be proud of everything American. I'm not going to hide that.
Amazing. Well, it's not a surprise that it happened. I guess the only surprise is that you're so young and yet they got so insecure and targeted you for it anyway. That's a surprising angle a bit. Just in closing here, tell people how they can follow you on Twitter and any other information you want to tell them about.
Well, exactly. Go follow, please. I would like to ask for everyone to follow on Twitter. I'm going to be posting more information about the entire story, the process, and everything. I mean, I'm trying to get in contact. I'm still trying to get in contact with the agency. But definitely I've had some supporters already like sending threatening messages, and I condemned any threatening messages that were sent toward the agency. I don't think that as conservatives we should be doing things like that. We should be better than what the leftists are doing. Living in Chicago, I can see on a daily basis what the left is doing in the streets, and I don't want any threats or negative things going towards the agency. I just think that I'm going to get through this one way or another.
All right, we'll leave it there, but kudos to you for standing up for your beliefs. Lucas Duza, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me again.
My pleasure. There goes Lucas. Again, no surprise that that's how Hollywood reacts. That's how they handle people coming into the industry. Not even established actors who come out and, God forbid, express conservative beliefs. I guess once they get to a beachhead where they're actually successful, then they have some level of protection. But for them to be this irate, this intent on not even allowing people with conservative opinions to get in the industry in the first place, as obviously they tried to do, that's the incredible aspect of this story that I wanted to bring to people's attention. Please click the big red button to subscribe. It really helps me when you do that. And click the bell to allow notifications so you never miss a new video.